Entonces, cuando esté...
Hey, will you watch what you do?
Te llamo yo con lo que sea, ¿vale? Yo cuando esté subiendo te llamo, y igual paso por la finca tuya y las dejo, ¿vale? Y ya cogemos la tierra y cogemos todo.
Pretty cool. So the village on the left is Tricio.
That's not where we're going.
That's not where we're going. And the one on the right here, and the further distance, is Najera. Najera, which is where we're going. And it looks like the highway is just down there as well, isn't it? Hola! Un mouton noir de la famille. Hello. T'as perdu la voix? So we are here in the little pueblo, the little town of Najera, after the stop in Navarrete yesterday. So how many miles do we do today?
About same as usual, about 12, 13, 14.
Yeah. So we didn't record an awful lot. We were just, I think I took a lot of pictures, so I'll put a little picture montage. But we left at about 8 o'clock, and yeah, it was a really good walk. It was cloudy, and it was really nice and pleasant. We were pretty much all day in vines and not too many other walkers, so it was really pleasant. And then we stopped at a little town for lunch, which was, do you remember the name of the town?
Vendoza.
Ventosa. Yeah, we actually took a little, you had a choice. You could kind of follow a quickest route along the main road or go around a little bit. It added a kilometer, I think, but it was pretty and it was nice because it was a halfway point for us, and we had a little bit of lunch. I was able to get a smoothie. Well, that was novel, eh? A nice strawberry, another fruit smoothie. Jacques had a sandwich, a bocadillo de jambon, and I had my usual tortillas. At least I know I could eat that, so it's always nice. And then we left, and the rest of it was good. The approach into this town, like it said in the book, wasn't the greatest. It was very long, and it was very much industrial-ish kind of thing, right? Though the town here is small. It's only 2,000 population, you said? I think you read that. Anyway, but we finally got in, and we are at Albergue de
Porto Nueva.
Porto Nueva, just as you cross the bridge. I'll take a couple of pictures and footage. It's an albergue. It's a typical albergue. We have a private room, which is nice, and we have our own bathroom too, which is great. So we're very grateful for that. And for the price, it was like 45 euros, right? So we can't complain. It's nice to have. So anyway, we wanted to take a minute to talk about some of the questions that our listeners on YouTube have asked. And one of them was in regards to asking if we booked all of our accommodation ahead of time. So we wanted to talk about that. So the answer is yes, we did. We weren't going to do that because it kind of it's a little bit against of the flow of you're supposed to just walk and then decide where you end up in that day and find a place. But two reasons why we decided to book. One was that we wanted to have private rooms and if possible private rooms with private bath. And there are not as many of them around, so that makes it harder to kind of just wing it. We didn't really want to stay in the dorms, right? So we did that once and that was enough, I guess. And that's because we didn't have a choice in that particular town. So, and then the second reason is because we heard from a few friends like Mike Moody. Hi, Mike, if you're watching. And he was doing the Camino or 12 days on the Camino with his daughter. And he sent me a text and said, you know, you may want to book because things were pretty busy. And he was even saying there were some, you know, pretty hard stories where people couldn't find places. So we kind of just didn't panic, but we thought, yeah, let's just do it. So whilst I guess 2 weeks before we were due to arrive, we spent a couple of days and we researched and made a plan.
And some places were hard to book, like especially on the weekend, the Saturdays, and the place like almost all the places on Saturday were really really hard. So I think you could get away with the week, most places, but the weekends are just crazy.
Yeah, and if you are, yeah, if you, yeah, I think you said that, right? If you can avoid being in big town like Pamplona and Logroño on a weekend, then you'll probably do be better off too. And the other huge factor, and I didn't fully understand this, is the month of April and May are the peak months
And
for, and
September.
September. In the summer, we heard that there are, you know, obviously there are still some Pellegrinos that are doing the Camino, but they're mainly Spanish people, and they only do short, you know, stints, and they're used to the heat, and you know, they walk differently from the rest of the Pellegrinos, I think. But if you're coming in to those months of April and May, then that plays a factor into, you know, what might be available. The Camino is becoming more and more and more popular. We know that from like different movies, like the what's the movie, the Way, I think it's called, and a bunch of other books and whatever. So I think if you're going to be here in April, May, it could be a good idea. We are finding a difference already as we're now in June, and it seems to be a little less busy. Though that being said, we found yesterday that we arrived in a place where many other caminos are coming into, um, like coming into an interjection point, right? An intersection point, I should say. So all of a sudden, last night was pretty busy.
It's very busy. Yeah.
So I mean, hard to tell, but I think if you're going to be happy sleeping in a dorm situation and you're happy to just go to the donativo, the municipale. So those are the two dorms, um, albergues, where you can't book ahead for those. So it's first come first serve. So if you're happy to go to those, then um, that should work. Though even then, right? Some people said they had to leave really early in the morning just to make sure that um, they would arrive early enough to get a bed. So, you know, all of that being said, we said, you know, if we had to do it again, we'd do the exact same thing. We would book. It just means a little bit of work, and yeah, we may misjudge some of our distances and maybe pick the wrong mileage, but we had said that if that's the case, we'd be just happy to take a bus if we had to, or to take a taxi. Um, it's totally fine for us to do that, and it's, you know, totally fine for most people. We spoke to a number of people yesterday that are like talking about getting to Santiago. In fact, a couple from Quebec that we met. And they will probably, skip a portion so they could just get to Santiago because they don't have all the time in the world to do it either. So, so anyway, hopefully that answers the question that one of the listeners was asking. And for us, if we would do it again, we would do the same thing.
Well, there's another thing that I think people should put into their way of planning is like the Camino is. I wasn't aware of this, but if you follow the exact path that the Camino,
the phases,
that they have said, Camino book, they would say, okay, from Pamplona to La Reina, or from, and then it's very clear. And then what happens is like when this happens, you're in a bunch of people, so everybody goes there at the same time.
Yeah,
they all leave at the same time. So during the day, you're like in a crowd of people.
It's a little bit of a bubble. Yeah, exactly.
So what we've decided to do is it's okay to take maybe 5 or 6 kilometers less, and then come and stay
in between
towns,
yeah,
and then do your mileage the next day to the next in between town, and then you're by yourself. You can enjoy the.
Yeah.
There's no mad
crowd.
Panic to go to eat for breakfast or for coffee or.
Yeah.
So we enjoyed that quite a bit, to be able to be in between. So don't just follow what the guide said and.
Make your own Camino.
Yes, make your own Camino where you hopefully can enjoy much more than having to rush all the time, so that you have a place to stay.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. But honestly, nothing wrong with booking. And a lot of the people that we talk to, either the hoteliers or albergues, anyway, the host where we stayed at. I'm making up words, I think. They said they were getting more reservation as well, more than before. So I think it's a change. Yeah, it's a change of time because of the popularity of the Camino. So anyway, we're very happy that we booked, and
no bed bugs yet.
Yes, that's right. No bed bugs. Only private rooms, and we stayed in some pretty nice place. Like last night. I mean,
last night was incredible.
It was amazing. I mean, you would have seen already the yesterday's video by now, but yeah, it was
lots
superb.
of wine last night. Slowed people down this morning.
Slowed people down this morning. I think we both did. It was so fun. We just got into the moment big time, eh?
We got into the bottles more than the moment.
We got into the moments. It was fun. Anyway, so I think that's it. There might have been something else. That's right. There was another question as well from in the comments there. Thank you for your comment and your question. And the question was, where did we go when we took a taxi from Pamplona? And which town did we ask the taxi to take us to? And Jacques will answer that.
Yes, I will answer that. The first thing is, when we decided, is we just look at Google Earth and to see how long really, or just Google Maps, how long would we be in the towns, and we've saw really quickly that we would be 5 or 6 kilometers walking, through the town.
In the city, yeah.
So when you could see where the Camino was going, and when there was the end of the city, there was a place called César Menor. I'm thinking Menor. Anyway, it's the first town really when you leave town after the last little part of Pamplona. And then when we looked at it, we saw again that we were just going to walk on the road, really just on the road. So we decided, okay, that's not the Camino we want to do. So we went to the next one. I think that was called Zariquiegui. So, and then we started from there. It was fantastic.
Can we quote you on that pronunciation?
Starts with a Z anyway. Up to people to decide where they want to go, but using Google Maps or Google Earth to see exactly where the Camino is and when it starts to be interesting again is the key, I would say. So we did the same for
Logroño.
Logroño, and we're very happy with our decision.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we mentioned it to a few other pilgrim, they thought, oh, and that had walked the whole thing. They said, oh, that was a good idea because they said it wasn't pleasant to walk. So but if you're a purist and you want to take every single step, then obviously you skip the taxi. But we didn't have a problem with that. We're walking our own Camino, and totally acceptable
Well,
for us to do it.
in the
So.
last in Logroño, we again looked, and it was you're going through an industrial part.
We're skipping. That's it. So, anyway, if there's other questions you guys have, don't hesitate to put it in a comment. We're happy to answer and to give our insight. And obviously,
And a wine list.
oh, that's what I was gonna say. Like, if you're interested coming back to the place we stayed, I think we mentioned them in most of the video. But if you want to have a list, I can just let me know in the comment, and I can definitely add it as a list in a future video.
Yeah, and there's some places like I have to do some work at some point through this, and there's places there that where you can't do nothing because the Wi-Fi is
Weak.
terrible.
Which,
But there
yeah,
are some places,
which
like
is a
last
gem.
night,
Yeah, it was a gem.
like it's the fastest that I've ever seen in my life. Like we could upload things in like 30 seconds when usually it would take 10 minutes, and
Yeah.
it's incredible. So we could also put that in a list at some point
Yeah, if
of
it's
the
anyone's
places. If
interested.
you're interested doing the Camino, you've got to do a little bit of work, and you got to upload or download some stuff. Most places, the albergues, there's some that are absolutely amazing, and bars that are absolutely fast, and then some
Yeah.
others where it's hopeless. You're not going to be able to do anything there. So
Yeah, so yeah, for Jacques, because he has his laptop and needs to do a little bit of work, but for me, it's really because I need to upload the video, and you can't. I mean, if you're going to upload a video on YouTube, you need to have a really good Wi-Fi, a strong Wi-Fi. Otherwise, it takes forever, or it just basically aborts. So you're wasting your time. So yeah, so we can definitely put a list of where we found so far of the place we went. Right, obviously there's more, but. Anyway, I think that's it. So we are going to go back into the town. We're close to the river here, and it's very nice and peaceful. And we're going to go back into the little town, the little street, and we're going to find a place to eat, and we're going to have a quiet night. We have a big day tomorrow, eh?
no wine for you tonight.
Oh, I'll have wine for sure. Maybe none for you.
None for me, for sure.
We're in the wine region. Have to have it. Yeah, and tomorrow we got what, 20 some K? The same thing.
Yeah, 22, 23, like 14,
Yeah,
15, yeah.
still deep in the wine region, so it should be great. Beautiful
Feeling better,
scenery.
hopefully.
Yeah, no, that's great. Feeling great. I don't know what you're talking about. You're not feeling good?
Feeling perfect.
Are you not feeling good? Maybe Shaq isn't feeling good. What do you think?
Tylenol good, you mean?
All right, you guys. Bye.